Okay, so you've seen the thumbnail and you know what this one is. It's the Arrma Infraction Mega. And I got my pre-order in right away because this one looks exciting. I don't have the big brother to this one because friends of mine already have that car and I didn't see any reason to double up. So now that we've got the Mega version, which is basically built on the 3S platform, this is the brushed version and it is what it is. We're going to get it out of the box. We're going to see what it's capable of today. And then we're going to let you know what we think. Guys, check this out. Okay guys, it's time to get this thing out of the box. Wow, that's cool. We got it taped in. There we go. Nice. Check this out. All right, here we go again. I feel pretty fortunate to get to do this on the regular lately, but pulling the plastic off is super enjoyable and you only get to do it one time. Here we go. Wow, that looks a lot better than I thought it was going to. Let's get you down close, take a good look at it. Excellent. It really looks well built, at least from the outside. Let's get the top off and check out what's inside. But before we do that, let's show you what comes in the box. Okay, let's start with the radio. This is the SLT3 from Spectrum. It's a very basic, kind of bottom of the line radio. It does have the rudimentary controls you'd need, and it does have the throttle selector from 50, 75, or 100% for your throttle. Your servo reversing's here. This is the on-off switch to turn it on. You know, it's kind of a cheap feeling radio, I gotta be honest with you, and it feels a little bit small in my hand. The spring tension's good on both, and I've used these before. They do work, so that's what comes with the car. Inside the car, the battery was already strapped inside. I had to take it out. So this is a 3300 milliamp hour 7-cell hump pack, and this is nickel metal hydride. So this isn't a LiPo, although I understand it does function with LiPo. We'll have to check that out. It comes with a charger, and that's one of the few kits that does come with this particular item. Most of them don't come with the charger or the battery, so that's kind of special there. You also get a connector here to sync the radio and receiver. So this allows you to sync the two if you're having issues, and that should be covered in the manual. In this packet, you'll have a small rudimentary toolkit with a couple Allen wrenches, a wheel wrench, and of course, you're going to have your manual. That's about all that comes with that, guys. So this is what comes in the box with the car. Okay, first things first, let's get the body off. I want you to take a close look at this. This is cool. The pictures that you see, the videos you see on the internet, and I know this is one, but they do not do justice to the paint scheme on this. I didn't know what I was going to think, but that blue is a beautiful metallic. That red is really deep, and just true to Arrma fashion, this is a stunning body. To look in the car here, this is basically the 3S platform. It's got the same chassis, same differentials. It does have different arms and different shocks, but it does have the CV outdrives in it. It does have the brushed system, so this is the speed control that goes with that. It's got a 6-kilogram servo up front. It does have a 9-turn 570 motor in it, and of course it has the all-plastic gear case. Now, I did go ahead and order the aluminum one just so I could get some more rigidity. I plan to beat this car a little bit, and I don't think the plastic one will hold up, but we are going to test it with that in it. It does have the diffuser on the back, which is real nice. This is very reminiscent of the Infraction's big brother, and this one has dirt tires on it. Take a look at those. So these look like the Typhon tires, and they have the same basic tread pattern. All in all, you know, it looks pretty much the same. There is no bearing support in the center. I just do happen to have that particular bearing support, so I may add that to the car when we change things around inside. This is capable of 30 miles an hour out of the box. That's not a lot, guys, but look at it this way. If you're running the big one and your kid wants to run one, this is a perfect car to get for your kid, because it doesn't go quite as fast. It's not quite as dangerous, although on the box it says you have to be at least 12 or 14 years old to run this. I think that's silly. I was running cars like this when I was a kid, so they weren't nearly to this power and speed, but no one told me I couldn't run them. I mean, come on. These things, this one's not going to be super fast. It does have a good sturdy, this is a sponge front bumper right there. So if you bump into something, it's not going to be as tragic as, say, hitting it with anything else on the rack back there. It's going to be a little more controllable. It's not going to be super off the chain fast, but I haven't seen it go yet either. So let's go ahead and look at some of the details on this thing. We'll get you in real close and show you what's in there, and then we'll test it. Okay, so checking out the front end. It still has the plastic drive axles in it, and everything looks about the same. The arms are shorter there, and so are the shock absorbers. They're custom for this build. The diffuser on the front, or the splitter, and the foam block, those look pretty substantial. The wheels and tires, those guitars, those have pretty good tread on them, and they look nice. The deflectors are large and should do a nice job. There's that 6-kilogram servo, and you know, it's a pretty decent servo for this size, but take a look here, guys. On the speed control, those two jumpers are what you need to switch it from nickel metal hydride to LiPo. You got your 9-turn 570 motor right there. Notice there is no bearing in the center of that drive shaft. That's usually reserved for the higher powered cars, but I just happen to have one. There's the plastic gear case and motor mount, and yeah, that looks pretty lightweight. It's got the same in the rear as far as the plastic goes for the drive shafts. And I gotta tell you, that rear diffuser, it looks pretty cool on this rig. So there you go. That's the car inside and out. It does look pretty epic, I gotta tell you. And the battery's on charge. There's only one thing left to do. Take it out and test it. Check this out. Okay guys, first run. Just get a feel for it here. And it's kind of what you expect with the Mega. It runs pretty evenly. It's completely controllable here. It's actually pretty quick for a Mega. It's not overly thrilling in the speed department, but you know, it does handle really well. You can get it to slide a little bit, and of course these are the off-road tires, but they do handle the pavement quite nicely. Okay, so there you go guys. That's the first run in stock condition for the Infraction. Now, it's a cool little car, and if you're, not used to RC, or if you have confined spaces, or you're young, this car is awesome. It handles really good, it runs well, it runs a pretty good distance on the standard batteries, and with the little charger that comes with it, it's pretty bulletproof for just plug it in and go play. That works really good, but for somebody who's deeper in the hobby, you guys got to know, I can't leave it like that. On the bench here, this is all the stuff we took out of it, and that includes the radio. This is that SLT3. I'm not a fan of this one, but it's still better than the one that came with the original version for Creighton. This is the receiver. We took that out as well, and we replaced that one. Let's see, where'd I put it? Right here. We replaced that one with one of these, and this is a 6-channel receiver, and it's got the gyro in it. I don't really know that that's necessary on a vehicle of this size, but at the same time I wanted to see what it would do. So the replacement radio is the DX5 Rugged. Now this is a pretty good radio, and it works really well, and it has good control over everything. Also, we went ahead and swapped this out for LiPo. We took out the 9-turn motor, put brushless in it, which includes the speed control. So all that's out of there. And we went ahead and removed this. Now this is the plastic transmission. This is the motor mount on this side, and it comes with a locked spool, and it's kind of a cheap little plastic one that sits in here. And we went ahead and removed that as well. Now everything we have in it now is the high-end 3S stuff, and it pretty much built it like the Vortex. So it's got the 3200 kV motor in it, and I'll show it to you. Check this out. So we've gone ahead and changed it over to the BLX 100 speed control. We've got the 32 kilovolt, and this is the Spectrum motor in it. It's got a 22 tooth pinion on it, so it's geared pretty high. We left the original servo in place. We did put the 6-channel receiver in it, and we swapped over to the new tires for this thing's brother. And you know, it's pretty good. These tires are a little more squirrely than the ones that come on it, but once you hit the speeds this hits now, you can eat those dirt tires pretty fast. And let's see if I got a set of those right here. Here we go. And these are the ones that came on it. And they're pretty well worn now. There's not much tread left in there. And they held up just fine if you run it in the stock form. They skid around and have a good time. And they don't wear very fast. But once you put more power in it, these suffer. Now, it looks like a rally car, and the way it's designed with the dirt tires and everything, but the ground clearance is pretty low here. And I did notice that it didn't take much for that thing to start skittering the ground. One little pebble and the body hit and up it came. So I don't know that that handles too well in the dirt. We kept it pretty much mainly on the pavement, but now with the upgrades in it, we ran into a little bit of problem. The day we were slated to go out and play with this thing, this happened. Now, we got quite a bit of snow and it rained and it was just nasty for quite a long time. And so the video suffered because I wanted to have some good clean asphalt to play on. So we had to wait for that to clear up. Okay, that being said, it finally did. Check this out. Okay guys, so there you go. That's the running footage for the modified Infraction. Now this is an unboxing video, so we are going to rate the car as it came out of the box. And I'm glad I got to show you guys what this thing is capable of when you gear it up and change out the components and put something just a little more high-end into it. If you're into fast cars, if you're into that, this is capable and it's a lot of fun to play with. However, what came in the box, you know, this is one of those things, you know, it comes with a radio that works. It is nickel metal hydride and it is brushed. So when you buy it to start with, if it says Mega on it, you know it's not going to be all that fast. Now for a brush system, it's pretty quick. You know, it ripped through the driveway pretty good, although if you are into the much faster cars, it's going to seem boring to you. But if you're a kid and this is like your first thing or a Christmas present or something like that, and you've got tight quarters to play in, maybe some sidewalk, maybe a short driveway, a little place around the neighborhood, that kind of thing, this is going to work really good for that application. You know, it's not really much of a race car as far as competition goes, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot if you're just out to have a good time. This thing does have potential, and everything did work out of the box. That being said, you know, if you are into the faster cars, and you know, it's an example for you here. If you took a Mega Typhon out and played with it, it moved kind of slow, and then you get a chance to play with the 3S version, and it is a totally different animal. When I first got the Mega for Rob, I didn't realize it was going to be what it was. We did this conversion to that, and it keeps up with the big ones. So it is possible to change things around. In the box, you know, it's one of those deals that's really hard to put your finger on. It's really cool to look at. I'm betting it looks absolutely bitchin' sitting next to its big brother, you know, and with the Vendetta tires and wheels on it, it does get around on the pavement pretty good, but it does get a little more tail swappy on that when that happens. But if you just keep it pedaled down a little bit. Now, one thing that did happen with this is with the 22-tooth pinion in it, it was right at its max range for the 32 kV motor or 3200 kV motor, and it you could hear it grunting. It did get a little bit warm, so I would recommend a slightly smaller pinion. It'd have a little more grunt, and it wouldn't be quite as fast on the top end, but at the same time, it would still be every bit as fun. Now, you don't have to gear it way up to make an improvement over what was in the car to start with. Just switching it to brushless would make a huge difference, and it gives you the option for 2S or 3S, depending on how you play with it. Now, this I've discovered did not need the gyro, so I wouldn't recommend putting that in there unless you just happen to have one lying around. And that's okay. The standard radio works pretty good. The DX5 Rugged, it was a real comfortable thing and it controlled really well, and all the settings are in there. Of course, that's a higher end radio too. The stock radio had very rudimentary controls. It felt small for my hands, but then again, I'm an adult, I'm not a child, so any younger crowd would be able to handle that with a pretty good amount of comfort. Myself, not so much. Now, the radio aside, the running gear did run well. With the batteries that came in the car, the charger worked properly, everything fired right up and ran as advertised. So now it's time to get on with our 4 questions. And keep in mind, guys, that this we are going to rate for what came out of the box, not the mods that we put in it. That will save for the brutal review when we run it up against the Fiesta, which is a rally car, but they're similar in size, they're similar in speed, and I made similar adjustments to each car. In this video, we're just going to go over the stock out of the box setup and let you know where it rates with us. And if you've watched the channel before, you know what they are. Is it fun? Is it durable? Is it worth the money? And where does it stack up? And keep in mind, guys, we only rate the top 10. So if it doesn't make the top 10, it won't get a number. It's just not going to make the top 10. So let's get on with it. Question 1, is it fun? Well, yeah, it's fun. If you know what you're getting, and this is the important part here. If you know what you're getting, you're buying a Mega. So it's not going to be blisteringly fast. But with this, if you know what you're getting, is it fun? Well, for my age group, under the conditions I ran in it, I'd have to say not so much. I mean, as far as that goes, it does what it's supposed to, and it skitters along pretty good, and it's fast for a Mega. But at the same time, at the level I play with, it's not as much fun as I'd like it to be. So I'm going to run this one at 5 out of 10 for fun, just because of how this thing runs out. It looks way faster than it is, and I was just expecting a little more. And question number 2, is it durable? Well, it really doesn't go fast enough to break anything. I mean, it does zip along pretty good, and I suppose if you hit bricks or something solid, ran it smash into the curb, you might be able to break something. But at the speed this thing travels, it's not all that, it doesn't require all that kind of strength to it. However, it is a 3S platform car. No matter what they say, this is still built on the 3S platform, and it comes with the 3S differentials in it. So it is designed to go a lot faster than it does. So I'd have to say this is actually a very durable car, even at high speeds, which we're not actually rating, but even at high speeds, this handled things really well, and I had absolutely no failures in the car whatsoever. The way it was designed out of the box with the brush system in it, it didn't need the bearing support in the center because it just didn't spin up fast enough to need that. The tires held up really well as long as it was a brushed system, and everything worked out pretty good. So for durability, just because it didn't have any failures, but it wasn't going to its potential, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for durability. And question number 3, is this thing worth the money? Well, here's the kicker. If you know what you're getting, if you know what you're buying, and you know where it's supposed to be run, as far as it's not going to handle off-road stuff very well. It might handle some hard-packed dirt, like baseball diamond kind of clay and that kind of stuff. It'd probably do okay on that. But, as far as overall, it's more or less a play on the sidewalk and road type of car. And, for that, if you know what you're getting, and this is really what you're looking for, it does work the way it's advertised, and it is actually really cool to look at. So I'm going to say, yeah, it is worth the money, but keep in mind, guys, know what you're getting before you get one, because if you're expecting it to move like the Centon, the way it runs out of the box, or the Typhon 3S, the way it runs out of the box, you're going to be disappointed in the speed of it. But is it worth the money? I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10 for value, and that's strictly because the car is got higher potential than what they gave you on the box. Even though it's a Mega and you should know better, still, something that looks this slick, something that looks this fast, needs to move just a little faster. And question number 4, where does this stack up in my collection? Well, it's a really cool car. I really like the look of it. I like the build on it. I do like the 3S platform cars, but then again, it's 10th scale and it's much slower out of the box than I was anticipating. So for that reason, for that series of reasons, really, this one's not going to make the top 10 for me, guys. I've got way too many cars that are way faster, way more fun to play with, at least at my age group where, I like to run. If I was still a kid, this would probably be right up there with the other ones. But, this is my collection we're talking about. And although I'm glad it's in the collection, now that it's modified, it's a lot more fun. What came out of the box really didn't raise muster. So for that reason, this one's not going to make the top 10. Hey guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget that little notification bell to stay informed. We here at the channel, we try to get this stuff out in a timely manner, but we can't help the weather. We got this right as it was released, and as soon as we got it out of the box and got one battery through it, the snow hit and it locked us down for a short time. Now, it warmed up, we were able to complete this one, but these smaller pavement style cars, and I know that it's more of a rally car, but with the close suspension, it's more of a pavement car for me, so that's where I'm gonna run it. And that kind of thing requires good clear asphalt. It can't have ice and that kind of stuff. Not if you're going to do an honest review on it. These kind of reviews, we are dead honest about this all the time. Like I said before in some of the other videos, we're not sponsored by anybody. We buy these for ourselves because, one, if it looks cool, we're going to get it and see what it'll do. Now, this is an Arrma car, and Arrma is generally a pretty tough car, and the 3S platform is right up in there with some of the toughest ones out there. These things will take a pounding even at high speeds, but just like anything else, if you slam it into a tree, run it into the curb, hit guy wires with it, hit bricks with it, any sudden stop is going to destroy the front end of it. The nice thing about this one is the whole front end right out to the tires is all one big diffuser and a foam bumper on the front. So that's going to help this a lot. It'll damage the body if you pile into something, but it should protect the front end. That being said, hey guys, if you have any add-ons, any modifications, anything that can help with this video and help others, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below and help others along the way. Hey guys, I'm AJ with AJ Jam Studios saying, keep bashing guys.